Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens has found herself on the wrong side of history. You know, she is a avid member of the anti-Israel mafia. You know, she's a Holocaust denier. She is a raging anti-Semite. And she's, but she's a so-called truth seeker, a Christian, and a conservative, and somebody that cares about America and freedom and Christians. And I'm gonna attempt to not attempt. I'm gonna call this bitch out for exactly what she is, and that is that she's a liar, and that she has an agenda, and that she's doing everything that she can to spin and manipulate certain historical concepts and facts in a way that is promulgating her bullshit message. So, number one, she's a Holocaust denier, okay? Well, if you can't understand how that's just axiomatically wrong, then, don't even fucking listen to the rest of the video. There's no hope for you, okay? So she's a Holocaust denier, number one. Number two, she says that, that Israel is illegitimate because she tries to make the aspersions that Ashkenazi Jews are not even Semitic, that they're descended from the Khazars, which were a 13th century Turkic tribe that converted to Judaism. Yes, the Khazars did exist, but no, there's no statistically significant amount of Khazar blood and Ashkenazi Jewish DNA done by many world-class universities. None of them corroborate those aspersions. Number three, Candace Owen says that Israel repeatedly bombs hospitals and never finds any terrorists under there, and just has baseless accounts that they thought the terrorists were there. Well, Mohammed Sinwar was actually, who was one of the leading members of Hamas, was found under a hospital, and as were tunnels were found under the Al Shifa hospital. So you're wrong there. Now, Candace Owens claims that the Bolsheviks were a Jewish plot to massacre millions of Christians. Okay? That's a lie. And that comes directly out of the International Jew, which is what this is her playbook, guys, and the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Okay, all these books are designed to promulgate, anti-Semitism. They've all been debunked, but they're common. They're very, it's popular literature amongst, mostly right-wing, white supremacist, Jew-hating type of people. And it's important that, it's disgusting to have to read this stuff, but if we want to debunk and disprove the hateful rhetoric that this wicked individual, this nasty, lying, manipulating, wolf in sheep's clothing, Candace Owens is purporting, then we have to know what her playbook is and where she's getting her information from. All right. Now, Candace Owens believes that her biggest gripe with the Jewish community is that she believes that Christians are God's chosen people and not the Jews. She believes that when God commands people to support Israel, certain verses that could be argued that way in the Bible, that does not mean the modern day creation of the nation of Israel in 1948. So she believes that's her biggest crime against man. She points out, she has a video when all these heinous crimes that Jews have been, that she attributes to Jews. So it's like, what a childish thing. It's like, we're the chosen people, not you. I mean, that's as pathetic as saying, like, what kind of high school bullshit is this, Candace? That's like saying, like, my dad can beat up your dad type of shit. Like, this chosen people garbage. I mean, like, I'm an atheist. I think it's stupid for anyone to think they're the God's chosen people. But, like, I mean, I'd have to say, if I was going to just look at a comparative analysis of Jews versus Christians, I mean, I'd have to say it would be the Jews, because the Jew, and again, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm neither. I'm an atheist. But like, if I look at history, I'm going to look and say, well, who's done more with less? The Jews have. I mean, if the Jews aren't even 1% of the world population, yet they win like 28% of the Nobel laureate prize winners. And, the fact that right now today, Candace Owens, 3 of your Christian countries are being ruled by Jews. Mexico, Ukraine, and Argentina all have Jewish presidents. So, in every one of your Christian countries, who dominates law and science and academia and medicine and finance and technology and business? Who is disproportionately represented? Is it your black brothers and sisters? No, it's not. It's the Jews. And you know why it's the Jews? Because they're better than you. Their culture is better than your culture, and their religion obviously prepares them better than your pagan, pedophile, Catholic church. And I don't give a fuck who gets offended at this, because you know what? Life is a competitive sport. And if one group is disproportionately more successful and they are outnumbered exponentially, there are billions of Christians in this world, and there are 12 or 13 million Jews, and they're kicking the shit out of you in law, in finance, in academia, in medicine, in technology. And if stupid fucks like you actually had a bit of intellectual curiosity, you would ask why. You would look at history, and you would find that one of the leading reasons why Jews are rich is because your pagan, pedophile Catholic church that your stupid shit for brains ass converted to barred Jews for thousands of years in Europe from not entering any profession except for money lending. And guess what? If all you can do is one thing, you're going to do it pretty fucking well. And what is finance, essentially? What is banking? A big part of it is money lending. So Jews became wealthy because they could charge interest. And yeah, they didn't have to, mow people's lawns and fix people's cars like Catholics do. Okay? So again, and not only that, but Jews historically have had a much higher literacy rates than Catholics have. Because in the Jewish religion, every Jew is required to read from the Torah. Much of European history, the Catholic people couldn't even read their own, distorted Bible because it was written in Latin or Greek. And if you're a Polish Catholic or you're a French Catholic, you couldn't read Latin or Greek. They were liturgical languages. That's another reason. So Candace, let's just review this video. You're a Holocaust denier. You take your playbook from these antiquated, debunked, anti-Semitic books. You are wrong about the Khazar theory, and just read the 13th tribe. I've read it, disproven, debunked. The genetic tests don't corroborate your bullshit story. Okay, so that's a lie. And then your aspersions that somehow, the 13th tribe, the 13th tribe, I've read it, disproven, debunked. The genetic tests don't corroborate your bullshit story. Okay, so that's a lie. And then your aspersions that somehow, the the Jews are not the God's chosen people. That's just a petty little bullshit thing to say. I mean, like, that's so like that's coming from emotion. That's coming from like your own, very narrow-minded, low IQ religious convictions. Like, if you want to be about the truth, Candace Owens, ask yourself this question. Would you want to be a Catholic in Iran? Would you want to be a black Catholic independent woman in Iran? Or would you rather be a Catholic woman in Israel? Because you could say all your shit, all your lies in Israel, and you'd still be alive, but you'd be hung on the gallows in Iran. Maybe that's what you should do. I mean, think about it. It's like you are dishonoring your own Christian brethren in Christ, your Iranian Christian co-religionists, when you support Iran. You so brazenly support Iran. Iran murders Christians. Go look at any YouTube video on Iranian Christians, and it's speaking out against, the horrible treatment that they've received under the Iranian regime. Okay, but you don't give a shit about that. You don't care because it doesn't fall in line with your agenda. You have an agenda, and your agenda is to push hate. And you know what? I will never stop attacking you, Candace Owens, until you are either deplatformed, and I don't want you to be deplatformed, because I actually enjoy the intellectual exercise of ripping you apart, because I think you are the epitome of what is wrong with this world, and I think that your viewers are even dumber, because you take very complex things and you reduce them to seemingly very simplistic things that are easily digestible, because most people are stupid and their intellectual capacity is very limited. They don't have good critical thinking skills. They're intellectually lazy, and they want something that is easily understood, digestible, and they want to run with it. And you provide that for people. So you are a wicked, morally bankrupt, intellectual neophyte. Your viewers are uneducated. They are easily manipulated, swayed, and just lack deep historical insight, intellectual discipline, and logic, and sound critical thinking skills. So this is just my first attack of you, Candace Owens, and it will not be the last. You have been on the wrong side of history. And you've been on the wrong side of history for your own religion that you claim you so love. Because, if there's one constant thing in this world, no matter whether it's all throughout Africa, like Nigeria, Sudan, or it's all throughout the Middle East, with Iraq, Lebanon, there's a reason there's more Lebanese Christians living outside of Lebanon than inside of Lebanon. Syria, it's always the same people who are murdering them, and that's the Muslims, not the Jews. But you don't want to mention that because it doesn't go along with your agenda. So you will be called out. You will be called out every time you lie, every time you try to foment your bigotry and your hatred that is stemming from your Catholic, pedophile, pagan, idol-worshiping religion. And I will continue to fight you until either you give up, or you admit that you were wrong, or you are exposed and you are discredited for the, disingenuine, fear-mongering bigot that you are. I'm out.